Take a good look here because this is the face of the new American conservative right. Alan Dershowitz, the new MAGA. Oh, what better spokesperson, what better face for the conservative American patriotic right than this guy? Well, following Joe Kent's statement today that Israel pushed us into war with Iran, Alan Dershowitz had a lot to say. And if you've been following along between his relationship with Donald Trump, you'll know that they've gotten very, very close. Alan Dershowitz actually has been going back and forth working with Donald Trump and Miriam Adelson, figuring out how Donald Trump could get a third term in office. Because, of course, Alan Dershowitz wants that more than anything because they have the best Shabbos Goy in place ever to push Israel's interests in the White House, which is, of course, Donald Trump. So Alan Dershowitz went on X today and he stated this. He is referring to Joe Kent here. He stated, neo-Nazi, Jew-hating, Israeli basher, quits administration, good riddance, too bad, garbage. 1.1 million views now, and I'm going to go ahead and read it to you guys. Let me show my disclaimer here. This is not intended to promote hate towards any group of people. We're just reporting facts here. So now that I got that out of the way, let me go ahead and share my screen so you guys can read and we can just go over what Alan Dershowitz has to say about Joe Kent leaving. Neo-Nazi, Jew-hating, Israel basher, quits administration, good riddance. And he says, Joe Kent, who cavorts with Nazis and blames Jews for everything, has resigned in protest over the Iran attack. In his letter, he invokes anti-Semitic tropes about Israel and the Jews and the media they control, getting us into wars. He includes the Iraq War, which then Prime Minister of Israel actually opposed. Kent is a liar, bigot, Nazi lover. It's good that he is gone. He should be relegated to the wastebin of history, where he joins others of his disgusting ilk. Anyone who supports this evil man and his bigoted views should join him. Good riddance. Now, this is insane because I just showed in my last video, him and Ben Shapiro both lied about this. I just showed in my last video Prime Minister Ariel Sharon of Israel pushing George Bush, to go into war with Iraq. Pushing George Bush, stating that the Iraqis, that Saddam Hussein is developing weapons of mass destruction. They've regurgitated this lie twice now, so that's odd. I don't know why they keep lying like this so easily. It's almost like secondhand comes from them. They've learned really good at how to lie. Well, this is not actually the first time, of course, Alan Dershowitz calls somebody an anti-Semite that he doesn't like, because we know he's done that with Jeffrey Epstein's victims. He actually called Maria Farmer an anti-Semite because of an interview she gave. Maria Farmer, of course, Jeffrey Epstein's first victim. Funny enough, or interesting, I guess, is now that Maria Farmer has came out after she started really speaking out, she's one of the most anti-Zionist individuals out there. Maria Farmer is incredibly anti-Israel, very supportive of Palestine, and the vast majority of it, actually fully, all of it, is due to her experience with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Her entire worldview now has been completely shifted because of this, and Alan Dershowitz has called her an anti-Semite repeatedly. He's actually stated, for many years, Alan Dershowitz has unleashed a torrent of vitriolic accusations of anti-Semitism against those who dared stray from the exceptionally narrow boundaries of Dersh-approved legitimate criticism of Israel. Some of these targets are almost universally admired as human rights icons, such as Archbishop Desmond Tutu, whom Dershowitz even described as one of the most evil men in the world. He even called Jimmy Carter, for whom there is a special place in hell for Jimmy Carter. And he's, of course, one of Donald Trump's best friends now. The guy who believes that Jimmy Carter has a special place in hell. Of course, Jimmy Carter being a one-term president who helped Egypt gain back the Sinai and forced a peace deal. Because apparently a peace deal between Israel and Egypt is hell. And that's not good. Apparently it's hell. This is the thing. If the Israelis are pissed off at you, even the slightest bit, if people that are pro-Israel, the Israel mob is pissed off at you, they will actually try. They're actually supporting the death of you, and they will try to expedite that is the best way to put it. So I want to go back to Maria Farmer though. Here's a photo of Maria Farmer, and Alan Dershowitz called her anti-Semitic following this statement here that she made during her interview. This is a pretty shocking statement. Take a listen.
And you're right about this, but the way they spoke about them, it was really horrifying, and it showed me a great deal about how these people truly believe that they're chosen to do something here. I don't know. It's unbelievable to me. I mean, and it was every one of them, the way they spoke. And one time I heard Isabel say to her mother, Eileen, "Mommy, why do you call Maria a nobody?" And she said, "Honey, Isabel, Maria is not a Jew. She is a nobody." Well, Ghislaine did make it very...
Wow. This is, again, Maria Farmer, Jeffrey Epstein's first victim. If you want to see a photo of her when she was younger, it's right over here. So apparently, Jeffrey Epstein, Alan Dershowitz, of course, because she wasn't Jewish, she's a nobody. That's how they believed it. They, as in the Israel mob, Epstein, Alan Dershowitz. And now what we see is Alan Dershowitz doing the exact same thing, where instead of actually admitting to the fact that they're doing some really messed up, sick, disgusting stuff, they accuse the people who are speaking out about it as being the hateful people. The people who've been trying to push peace, Jimmy Carter, for example, they get told that they have a special place in hell. If you guys I've read Jimmy Carter's memoir. I'm a big Jimmy Carter fan, and you can put politics aside. If you just actually look at the guy's character, if you've kind of done some Jimmy Carter history, you'll see he's one of the most like truly kind-hearted people. Not a single bad bone in his body, just truly a really kind person. And Alan Dershowitz hates him because he pushed for peace. Yet, and this is why it should ring alarm bells in your head when you think about Donald Trump, yet Alan Dershowitz loves Donald Trump. So if he hates all the good people, but he loves Donald Trump, well, what's that say about Donald Trump? Maybe it says that Donald Trump is totally bought out. I say this a lot, that Lyndon B. Johnson was the best friend in the White House Israel's ever had, and Donald Trump is the most useful idiot in the White House that Israel has ever had, and potentially Israel may ever have. That's really the relationship between the current president of the United States and Israel. The best possible goy to really carry out the interests of Israel in the Middle East. That's what he is. So that's just a little bit there for you guys. Joe Kent, of course, is going to be continuously under fire for the rest of the week because it doesn't just stop here. These people are not done. The Israel mob is not done. They are going to continue to try to find incriminating evidence. They're going to do a deep dive into this man's history. They're going to find anything to defame him, to destroy and tarnish his reputation and his character, because that's the only way they know how to shut down the message. Which is why we're going to continuously hear them talk about how he's a lunatic nut job, he's a conspiracy theorist. That's the Israeli way. You just defame and you destroy the messenger if you can't get the message to, dwindle. That's what you do. You always go after the messenger. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you click the subscribe button below and give it a thumbs up as well. The best way to help me is by joining as a member. So next to the subscribe button, you'll see a join button as well. And if you click that, you can see member-only videos I do every single day. You can also request in if you have any video topics you'd like me to do there and any of the comments on my member-only videos. I'd really appreciate it. It supports my channel a lot. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care and have a great day. Bye.